Welcome to my first ever effort of reviewing or even making a YouTube video. I've decided to use the knowledge that I have on art materials and subscribing to Scrawlrbox. I've seen Scrawlrbox reviewed many times and still look each month on YouTube, and some of the artwork completed by some of the YouTube artists is fantastic, and some of the materials that arrive monthly also look fantastic. However, some a little bit disappointing. So back in October I decided that I should have a go at ordering a box and duly subscribed. And then in November, my first Scrawlrbox came. It was a little late, they had problems with postage, and when my box came it was battered and bruised and half open, but I stuck with it. And when I opened the box, my first experience, having been excited about what was going to be inside, was a little bit disappointing. Lots of pencils that I already had, a graphite stick, a couple of fine liners, which I thought was a little bit disappointing, seeing as though I'd just done Inktober and I have a huge supply of fine liners and drawing pens and other sorts of ink. But one thing in the box I really liked, and that was this sketchbook. It's a thin sketchbook, A5, paper on first appearance felt fairly flimsy. However, when I started to draw on the said paper, I was really surprised how lovely and smooth, how accepting it is of all the materials. And I tried them out, as you do. The first thing I wanted to do, I think the lead that month was something to do with faces. I'm not 100% sure now I've said that. However, I decided to do a sketchy portrait using some of the pencils. I think it was a Kohinoor Hardtmuth pencil. It was a 2B pencil, and it went on whether it was a pencil, whether it was the paper, but I really enjoyed it. I then had a go with the colour pencils. Now, I didn't like those colour pencils. They were too hard, very, very scratchy, blended with a little bit of effort, but the amount of colour I have on the page took a long, long time. I just remembered the idea for November was body parts, so that's why I'd done the portrait. I did some lips, I did an eye. Now this was with the 6B graphite stick and blender. I really liked the blender. It worked fantastically well on this paper before I went off and then did a biro study, which bled badly actually. I remember when I did this I ended up with very black fingers. But I really, really did like this sketchbook. So, bearing that in mind, along came my subscription box number 2. And my subscription box number 2, I wondered why I was subscribing. It was office equipment. And there was nothing in there that I particularly enjoyed, so I haven't got anything out to show you, except I managed to complete this piece of work. I was celebrating New Year. The colour were highlighters. They did rub out, but I'm not sure you really need to rub out highlighter. There was a Sharpie pen, there was a silver pen. I used everything in the box. This made a nice little piece of artwork. It kept me busy for a couple of hours. And that's all I can say about it really. So, second box, disappointing. So, stick with it. And the third box arrived. Now in the third box, some of the main things that I liked were these Pro Marker pens. Now, I already use Pro Marker pens, so I already knew that I liked them. These are the double-ended, so there we've got the fine end and the chubby marker end. They do exactly what they say on the box. They blend fantastically well. The colours are very good. They're not streaky. I did like them. I had 3 colours actually that I don't have in my set, so that worked really well. And I did just a little drawing on some of the paper that was also in the box of, I think it was a memory, and I did one of, or something that's important to you anyway. So there's my cartoony version of my 5-year-old grandson who's just taken up football, and he loves it and I love him, so why not do a nice picture of him, although I'm not saying that looks much like him. But anyway, box number 3, a success. Stick with it. So we'll just put those to one side. And then box number 4 appeared, and I was absolutely smitten with it. In here were Brush Pro markers, or Brush Marker Pro I should say, and the colours that they produced here, the green, the violet and the yellow, were fantastic. I really, really liked this pen, or brush pen. Nice colour rose ink in there. We had a fine liner. I'm not sure whether that came with the set now, I can't remember. But again, I was thought, not too sure about these, but these turned out to be absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed them. So I enjoyed fiddling about and testing out my equipment. And already when I saw the Caran d'Ache Fabralo fibre pen and I tested it out with a little water, I loved the colours that they made. I loved the way they bled into each other, and I couldn't wait to use the Brush Marker Pros. Here are the colours. They were beautiful. And when you bleed one into another, so if you hold the 2 ends of the pen together, it works really well. They clean really quickly, and there is a lovely blended area from the green through to the yellow. I liked it very much. The theme that month was plumage, so here is the result of using these pens. For the first time, I have not seen them before, but I had already heard about the chameleon pens, and I like the idea of those, and these work in exactly the same way. The colours stood out. I really like doodling. That's my main thing, and I created this feather using lots of different shapes, different patterns. I did use all of the stuff that was in the box, which I was really pleased about. Oh, on top of the 3 colours, there was also the blender, which worked really well. It helped achieve lots of different shades. Also, the rose ink in this pen, I used quite a lot, and I went over areas, and it worked really well. So I was really pleased with that. And in the end, let me just put that to one side. And in the end, I did quite a lot of work with them, including this feather. Again, using Zen Doodle sort of markings, lots of pattern. I loved the way that they worked onto this thick watercolour paper. That was me experimenting with them. Loved the colours. The rose ink in the brush pen lasts a long, long time. I've done a lot with it since, either in here or on other work, and I do like it, and I would invest in a set. I would definitely invest in a set of the brush markers. And here is a little tribute to Zarina Rena, whose artwork was in the box that month. So here is my impression of the flowers, the feathers. Even though when my husband saw these, he thought they were leaves, but hey ho. Again, I've decorated my drawings in a little bit more detail, lots of swirls, lots of different pattern, lots of different marks. Again, I loved the colours. I loved working with these pens, and I am going to invest in a bigger set. So now we are on to Scrawlrbox number 5. And Scrawlrbox number 5, I'm not going to open it to show everybody because lots of people have already done that. Here is the equipment, here's the artwork, and I'll just say what I went through and did. So the artwork I loved. I loved the colours on the piece of work by Emily. I loved the way she's blended the colours. I loved the use of the colours. Excuse me. And I loved the idea that she gave us a piece of work to work on. And I'm not sure whether I got the wrong end of the stick here, but I thought, oh, I can't wait. Let's get the pencils out. Let's have a go at colouring onto the paper. Unfortunately, these colour pencils didn't work on here. The paper's too shiny, they slid off. Some of the colours you can see, others you can't. I might go back and see if I can finish that. It's made like a nice pastel piece, which is totally different from the vibrant, colourful piece of Emily. But I wanted to test out how good the pencils were, and I can't open the book now. Okay, so I tested out the equipment. I liked the shades of the colour. I wasn't too impressed with this. It's too chunky for me. I don't think I would use it. No, it didn't do anything for me. The white pencil, this heavy Progresso Kohinoor white pencil, I really liked. I like the weight of it. You can do lots with that. This is just a Pilot V-Ball pen. I've used them lots and lots of times before. Oh, I can't. There we go. There is the nib. It does what you expect it to do. It goes on very smoothly, but it's not a liner that I would like to use for many drawings, actually. Pencil sharpener, and the 2-barrel pencil sharpener is very good, actually. It sharpens the pencils well. And then we had the blender and the burnisher, which I use a lot. I do use a lot of coloured pencils in my own work. And I have a large range of colour pencils, so these were something new. But I do use the blender and the burnisher. I know some people like the texture of the paper. I like on a colour piece the smoothness of it, and I like the way these help blend the colours together. So I will use those. And then the pencil with the rubber on the end. It's a Caran d'Ache HB pencil with just a normal office type rubber on the end, but I do like a rubber on the end of my pencil. Flick it over if you've made a mistake. I'm forever hunting for rubbers or erasers if I haven't got one stuck to the end of my pencil. And then we had the Staedtler Super Soft colour pencils. They are nice shades, nice variety of colour. I found them quite scratchy on this paper. This is a nice sketchbook as well. Cartridge paper feels quite heavy. They felt quite scratchy. And because my experiment on here went wrong, I decided I would do a drawing taken from the example, and create a piece of work so I could see, really, to test these out. And once I started to get into it, I really didn't like the pencils at the start, and I found them quite difficult to mix the colours. I found them quite scratchy on the paper. But once I started to use the burnisher and the blender, I started to really like them. And I was pleased with the way this turned out. So this leads me on now to the piece that I'm doing, working to the theme this month, which is Enchantress, and this is how far I've got. Okay, I've chosen a mermaid, I've chosen a ship's compass, there are some watery splashes in the back, this is under the sea. As you can see, it isn't complete. but I am working through it, and I will put the finished version on the end of this video. All in all, having had 5 boxes now, and not getting off to the best start, it's picked up, and I will continue with my subscription, and I will hope that last month's and this month's materials will continue, or Scrawlrbox will continue to send out some more lovely materials for me to use. That's it. Okay, thank you for watching. As I've said, I'm a new person to YouTube. It would be great if you like what I do, just to tune in, to subscribe, tap the button, whatever it is you have to tap. And I really look forward to any likes or any dislikes or any comments to see how I could improve what I do. And I'll hopefully make more. Thank you for watching.